Hi everyone, the banks have been exposed. I need you to come all and listen to this. Come and listen to this. For those of you that are new to my channel, welcome to my channel, and please hit the subscribe button, like and share, and tell me what kind of things you would like to see in the next video. The banks have been exposed. Why? Because there are lots of you in the UK with bank statements that you don't get to check them. You don't even have the internet banking app. Please, if you haven't downloaded the internet banking app, I'm suggesting you download internet banking app and check your bank statement on regular basis. Okay, so what I'm going to tell you is very important, and is as a result of lots of victims that are falling prey to this without even realizing it. Okay, so yes, there is what we call bank reconciliation, which I teach my students a lot. And this is just the banks. How do we reconcile what the bank is doing with what we did at our end? So if you deposit money in the bank, for example, is it reflected within your bank statement or not? Because the banks are bound to make errors, they're bound to make mistakes. They're human beings like you and I. So guess what, guys? What happened recently? I went into the cash point to get some cash out to go and do my nails. I like to look all glammed. Yes, I do. And guess what? I got distracted with a phone call, and the money came out of the cash machine that I asked for. But because of the phone call, I didn't get to take the money on time. And then the money went back into the cash machine. It happens to everybody. I know it's happened to you. And please come and testify or listen to this. And what happened? I went immediately on my phone, checked my bank statement, and I noticed that the money had gone out of my bank statement. The money was showing out, but I didn't actually take the money. So I went to complain immediately to the cashier at the shop floor. And I said, oh, I've just put my card in the cash machine and I was meant to get the money out, but it went back into the cash machine. And she goes, oh, don't worry about it. 2 to 3 working days, you're going to get your money back. Did I get my money back? A story for another day. I didn't get my money back. But guess what? I was charged. 2 days came, 3 days came, and I didn't get this money. The 4th day, the 5th day, I got to forget about it. Knowing that the bank would do their job and give me back the money, did I get the money still? A month later, guys, a month later, I rang the bank because I did not get the money. And guess what? The bank said, oh, they're so sorry, which is normal to do. We are so sorry, or this happened to you. Can you put in a complaint? And I said, okay, fine, I'm going to do that. But can I get the money? They said, oh, yes, we are going to refund you the money on temporary basis pending our investigation. I was like, yes, that's fine. I've got evidence to show for it. I did a screenshot of my bank statement and I sent to them. And they said, yes, that's fine. We're going to refund the money. Did they give me the money? Yes, they did give me the full amount, the £40 it was. But was I happy? No, I wasn't. Why? Because I knew what I was doing. This is something I teach my students on day-to-day basis, and I know exactly what to do. So if you're a similar person with similar experience like myself, please come and listen to this. Subscribe to my channel and you'll hear more tips around what to do if the bank makes mistake. If there is an error, whether genuine or not genuine, as long as the error is coming from the bank, this is what you need to do. On another occasion, what happened was I got charged £150. What was it for? OpenAI. Did I subscribe to it? No, I didn't do that. Who did? I don't know. But I was charged £150, and that sounds like the charges that the companies would get, not an individual. But I got charged anyways, and I rang the bank up again and I said, this is what is happening. Can I get my money back? Yes, we're going to refund your money on temporary basis, but you need to put in a complaint. I said, fine, I'm going to do that. They gave me the £150. Again, a month later, the bank took the money out. I was like, hang on. I rang them again to complain about this. What did they do? They said, oh no, they've done their investigation showing that I did subscribe for it. I went straight to the company ChatGPT to find out what is happening. I got charged £150 for OpenAI, something I did not subscribe for it. And clearly from my chat with the company, they could see that, oh, I don't have any account anywhere. But again, these are things that are happening. So it was an error, definitely an error coming from the bank, a genuine error. And again, I went back to the bank to complain about this. What did they do? This is what I need you to come and listen to. Please hit the subscribe button, like and share for more tips around this. Okay, and I'm going to tell you what happened, I did fill in a complaint form with the bank, and they apologized. They said, oh yeah, we're going to handle this and see how we can compensate you. And I said, yes, that money was meant to pay some of my bills. And that's what you need to be telling the bank. You need to make a false about it. And I said, yes, the money had to go towards bills, which it had to. But of course, even if it didn't have to, it's my money. And I plan to use it in a different way, not to give it to the bank to get refunded the same money. Why? Because the time value of money, that's what you need to anchor on. The money, £1 yesterday is not the same as £1 today. Time value for money. So again, I was like, yes, even though you give me the same amount, but it's not the same because of the time that it's taken for you to be able to refund this money. I filled in the complaint form. Initially, they offered to give me £400 for each of these scenarios. And I said that was not enough, guys. And why did I say that? Because I knew exactly what I was doing. Because this is what I tell my students on day-to-day basis. And the bank went ahead to say, oh, you need to escalate the case if you're not happy. And I said, including the telephone call I'm making right now, I'm being charged because I had to top up my phone to make the call. I had to also pay Uber to get to the branch to resolve this. I put all the expenses together and I was compensated for that. And how much did I end up in the end with? 1,300 for both scenarios. So instead of the £40 and the £150, I got £1,300. Guys, click the link below, like and share for more tips on what to do. So if you're sitting here today and you don't have your mobile banking app, I'm suggesting you download the mobile app straight away. Download the mobile app. Why? Because the mobile banking app, because it would help you to check your bank statement on what day-to-day basis, in worst case scenario on weekly basis, because if you leave it too long, the bank can anchor on that. Remember, the bank or the people working at the bank, they're human beings like you and I. So they're bound to make errors. Yes, they can make errors. And they do make errors, whether genuine or not genuine. The bottom line is, do they make errors? Yes, they do make errors. How do we reconcile this when we've noticed errors is what I've been talking about. So yes, the banks have been exposed. Why? Because you and I are going to be checking our bank statements and letting them know that money had been deducted where it shouldn't have been. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.